You wake up in the morning, and before your feet even touch the floor, you feel it. That stiffness in your knees, that ache in your lower back, that tightness in your fingers that wasn't there 10 years ago. You tell yourself it's just part of getting older, that you've earned these aches, right? But here's what your doctor probably didn't tell you. Aging isn't what's destroying your joints. Inflammation is. And the worst part is that you're probably feeding that inflammation 3 times a day without even knowing it. I'm going to show you exactly which foods are acting like sandpaper in your joints right now, and more importantly, the 5 scientifically backed superfoods that can help you move like you did in your 40s, starting in as little as 7 days. Think of your joints like door hinges. A well-oiled hinge moves smoothly, silently, and effortlessly. But when that hinge gets rusty, it squeaks, it sticks, and it grinds. That grinding you feel when you stand up isn't rust, it's inflammation. And just like rust, we can reverse it. But first, we need to stop pouring water on the hinge. So, what exactly happens to our bodies after 60 that makes inflammation spiral out of control? Scientists have a name for it: Inflammaging. It's a combination of inflammation and aging, and it's one of the most significant discoveries in modern gerontology. Here's what's happening inside your body. When you're young, your immune system is like a highly trained security team that knows exactly who the bad guys are: bacteria, viruses, damaged cells, and it deals with them efficiently. But as we age, that security team starts getting confused. Your immune system begins producing more inflammatory cytokines. Think of these as alarm signals, even when there's no real threat. It's like having a smoke detector that goes off when you're just making toast, creating what researchers call chronic low-grade inflammation, a constant background noise that never fully shuts off. A landmark study published in Nature Reviews Immunology in 2018 confirmed that this age-related chronic inflammation is a major driver of degenerative diseases, including osteoarthritis. The researchers found that inflammatory markers like interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha increase significantly with age, even in healthy individuals. This isn't the dramatic inflammation you get with an injury. This is a silent, invisible inflammation that slowly damages your cartilage, the cushioning material between your bones. Your cartilage is made primarily of collagen and water, about 75% water in fact. And when inflammation becomes chronic, it disrupts the delicate balance of enzymes that maintain this cartilage. But here's the critical thing to understand. Inflammaging isn't inevitable. It's largely driven by lifestyle factors, and the most powerful factor is what you put on your plate 3 times a day. Let me tell you about 3 categories of foods that are acting like accelerants on the fire of inflammation in your body right now. First, refined sugars and high fructose corn syrup. That morning muffin, that afternoon soda, that low-fat yogurt that's loaded with sugar, these aren't just empty calories. When you consume refined sugar, something called glycation occurs in your body, a process where sugar molecules attach themselves to proteins, creating what are called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. Here's the metaphor that makes this click. Imagine your cartilage proteins as smooth, flexible rubber bands, and now imagine dipping those rubber bands in honey and leaving them out to dry. They become stiff, brittle, and breakable. That's essentially what glycation does to your joint tissues. The sugar literally stiffens the collagen in your cartilage, making it less able to absorb shock and more prone to damage. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2017 demonstrated that high glycemic diets significantly increase inflammatory markers throughout the body. Second, omega-6 seed oils. Walk down any grocery aisle and you'll see them. Corn oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil. They're in your salad dressings, your mayonnaise, your processed snacks, your restaurant food. The average American now consumes roughly 20 times more omega-6 fatty acids than omega-3s, when the ideal ratio should be closer to 4 to 1 or even 2 to 1. Omega-6 fatty acids are precursors to pro-inflammatory compounds called prostaglandins and leukotrienes. When your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is out of balance, your body has abundant raw material to create inflammatory molecules, but insufficient resources to create the anti-inflammatory compounds that balance them out. Third, ultra-processed emulsifiers. These are the ingredients you can't pronounce on ingredient labels: carboxymethylcellulose, polysorbate 80, carrageenan. They're added to processed foods to improve texture and extend shelf life. But emerging research suggests these compounds may disrupt the gut barrier, allowing inflammatory particles to enter your bloodstream. Your gut houses about 70% of your immune system, so when that barrier becomes permeable, your immune system goes on high alert, producing inflammatory compounds that travel throughout your body, including directly to your joints. Now here's where hope enters the picture. Just as certain foods accelerate inflammation, others have the remarkable ability to calm it down. Let me walk you through the 5 categories of foods that have been clinically shown to reduce inflammatory markers and protect joint health. Category 1. Omega-3 powerhouses, fatty fish. Wild-caught salmon, sardines, mackerel, and anchovies contain 2 specific omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. And these aren't just healthy fats. They're the raw materials your body uses to create powerful anti-inflammatory compounds called Resolvins and Protectins. Here's what makes them remarkable for joint health. EPA and DHA actually get incorporated into the cell membranes of your cartilage cells, and once there, they reduce the production of inflammatory enzymes that break down cartilage. A groundbreaking 2020 study in Arthritis and Rheumatology demonstrated that omega-3 supplementation significantly decreased cartilage breakdown enzymes. Participants who consumed omega-3s for 6 months showed significant reductions in joint stiffness and improved grip strength. The key is consistency and dosage. You're looking for about 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA per week, which translates to roughly 3 to 4 servings of fatty fish. Category 2. The Curcumin protocol. Turmeric with black pepper. Turmeric isn't just a trendy spice. It contains a compound called curcumin that rivals some anti-inflammatory medications in potency. Multiple studies have shown that curcumin can reduce markers of inflammation comparable to ibuprofen, but without the gastrointestinal side effects. If you're enjoying the content and want more videos like this, consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next. A 2019 meta-analysis published in the Journal of Medicinal Food reviewed 15 randomized controlled trials and concluded that curcumin supplementation of 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams daily significantly reduced pain and improved function in patients with osteoarthritis. But here's the catch. Curcumin has notoriously poor bioavailability, meaning your digestive system doesn't absorb it well. This is where the protocol part comes in. Black pepper contains a compound called piperine that increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. And additionally, consuming curcumin with healthy fats like olive oil dramatically improves absorption because curcumin is fat-soluble. The practical application is simple. Add 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder to your meals, always with a pinch of black pepper and a source of healthy fat. Category 3. Polyphenol-rich berries, anthocyanins. Blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, and especially tart cherries contain powerful compounds called anthocyanins, the pigments that give them their deep colors. And these compounds don't just reduce inflammation, they actually help repair DNA damage in your cells. Research published in the Journal of Nutrition in 2018 showed that tart cherry juice consumption reduced inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein by up to 25% in just 3 weeks. The study participants also reported significant reductions in joint pain and stiffness. The anthocyanins in berries also activate something called the NRF2 pathway, which turns on your body's own antioxidant production system. Think of it as teaching your body to make its own internal medicine cabinet. Aim for 1 to 2 cups of mixed berries daily, and remember that frozen berries retain most of their anthocyanin content and are often more affordable than fresh. Category 4. Early harvest olive oil, oleocanthal. Not all olive oil is created equal. Early harvest extra virgin olive oil contains dramatically higher levels of a compound called oleocanthal. This compound creates that slight peppery burn you feel at the back of your throat when you taste high-quality olive oil. Researchers discovered that oleocanthal works through the exact same anti-inflammatory pathway as ibuprofen. In fact, about 50 milliliters of high-quality olive oil provides anti-inflammatory benefits comparable to 10% of the adult ibuprofen dosage. A landmark study published in Nature in 2005 identified oleocanthal as the compound responsible for olive oil's anti-inflammatory properties. The key is quality and freshness. Look for olive oil in dark glass bottles, check the harvest date, and choose oils labeled early harvest or that have a strong, peppery finish. Category 5. Cruciferous greens, magnesium and sulforaphane. Kale, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and arugula are nutritional powerhouses for joint health, working through 2 distinct mechanisms. First, they're rich in magnesium, a mineral that's involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body, including the regulation of inflammatory responses. Studies show that people with adequate magnesium levels have significantly lower levels of C-reactive protein and other inflammatory markers. Second, cruciferous vegetables contain compounds called glucosinolates that, when chewed or chopped, convert into sulforaphane. This compound activates your body's detoxification pathways and directly reduces the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines. A 2016 study published in Arthritis and Rheumatism demonstrated that sulforaphane significantly slowed cartilage destruction by blocking the enzymes that break down cartilage matrix. The trick with cruciferous vegetables is to maximize sulforaphane production. Chop them and let them sit for 10 minutes before cooking, or eat them raw when possible. Here's something crucial that most people miss. It's not just about eating the right foods. It's about eating them in combinations that maximize absorption. Many of the anti-inflammatory compounds we've discussed are fat-soluble, meaning they need to be consumed with healthy fats to be properly absorbed. This is why drizzling your cruciferous vegetables with olive oil isn't just about taste. It's about bioavailability. But there's another powerful tool in your anti-inflammatory arsenal: the 12-hour overnight fast. Research published in Cell Metabolism in 2019 showed that time-restricted eating significantly reduced inflammatory markers, even when total caloric intake remained the same. The study demonstrated that when you eat is just as important as what you eat. When you compress your eating window to 12 hours or less, say eating between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., you give your body time to activate a cellular cleaning process called autophagy. Think of autophagy as your body's internal recycling program. During periods without food, your cells start breaking down and recycling damaged proteins and inflammatory debris. Here's what I want you to understand: the stiffness, the aching, the grinding sensation in your joints. These aren't life sentences. They're signals that your body is inflamed. And inflammation responds to the decisions you make every single day. Every meal is an opportunity to either feed inflammation or fight it. And the beautiful thing is, you start seeing results quickly. Most people notice reduced morning stiffness within 5 to 7 days, and by the 30-day mark, the changes can be dramatic. This isn't about perfection. You don't need to eat like this 100% of the time. But if you can make these anti-inflammatory foods the foundation of your diet, if you can hit that 80% consistency, your joints will reward you with improved mobility, less pain, and better function. Those 5 categories of superfoods we discussed: omega-3 rich fish, turmeric with black pepper, antioxidant-packed berries, high-quality olive oil, and cruciferous greens. These aren't exotic or expensive ingredients. They're available at any grocery store. What worked for you? And what challenges did you face? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them.